What's up, folks? It's the Sportsbook Killa, UFC Vegas 100 coming right up. Let me give you guys my report card from last week's fights. Let's start with my strong best for UFC Edmonton. I went 4-1. I was 80% accurate on those. Only one I got wrong was Rodrigo Nascimento, big barrel belly. I shouldn't have bet on him. My college football picks didn't do too good. I was 4-4, so I was at 50% last week in my college football picks. That was the worst I think I've done with college football. My strong UFC Edmonton prop bets. I went 9-1. I was at 90% accurate with my prop bets for that fight card last week for UFC Edmonton. And my NFL Week 9 passing props, I picked 6 quarterbacks. 5 of them threw for over 200 yards and definitely over 175 yards. Dak Prescott, from what I heard, I didn't see the game, but I heard Dak Prescott had like some sort of ankle injury and was replaced. He was the only one that didn't hit over 175 and over 200, but everybody else did. So I was 5-1 on quarterbacks over 200 yards passing. Now let's get to UFC Vegas 100. We're going to start with the main event as always. We got the men's welterweight division. Magny versus Carlos Prates. Magny he fights over at Elevation Fight Team. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt. He has very weak takedowns, great cardio though, and a strong chin. Carlos Prates, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, has serious KO power. Fights out of the southpaw stance, phenomenal boxing. He has a nuclear left hand, and when he touches people with it, it's lights out, it's over, no more fighting, fight over. He's on a 10-fight win streak and on a 9-knockout streak. This guy is the real deal. He can box. No one really has tested his grappling much, but if you go down to the ground with him, he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, so that might not be the smartest idea. Magny, at 37 years old, having to fight a guy like this, I don't think Magny has much of a chance. The best Magny would be able to do, and the only thing I'm worried about is Magny likes to stall up against the cage. He likes to grab a man and just hold him up on the cage, and hopefully the judges will give him the decision. I don't think that'll work here with Carlos Prates, so I'm going heavy on Carlos Prates, and I'll be betting the under 2.5 round prop just in case Mr. Prates gets that quick KO. I throw a little something on that under prop. Next fight, we got the men's bantamweight division. Cody Garbrandt versus Miles John. Oh, you know what? That fight got canceled. That's right. That fight got canceled. So I'll move on to the next fight. We got the women's strawweight division. Karolina Kowalkiewicz versus Denise Gomes. Kowalkiewicz her boxing's rather weak. Her takedowns are weak. Her ground game is weak, but she has good cardio and a strong chin. So she's like a human zombie. She just keeps walking forward, and they keep banging her up, and when they get exhausted, she starts to take over and come on strong in the fight. That's her style. She doesn't do anything super good, so, I mean, she's not what I would consider anywhere near an elite fighter, but she can take a lot of punishment and come on, and if you wear down, she will get you. She's fighting Denise Gomes. Denise Gomes is a very hard puncher with a strong chin. She's a hard, versatile striker. She has weak takedowns, and she has very weak takedown defense, but she has fast hands. I'm going to go with Denise Gomes because I've seen her knock out a few people with her punching power, and she's good on the feet, really good. And she got some moves on the ground too now. She can take you to the mat and do things. She just doesn't have those good, strong, quality takedowns that I like, where the takedown is almost guaranteed at least 1 out of 3 times. But I'm going to go with Gomes in this one, and I'll take the prop bet that the fight starts the second round with DraftKings. Next fight, we got the men's bantamweight division. Ricky Turcios versus Benardo Sopaj. Turcios is a Taekwondo black belt. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt. He has a really good ground game. Really good. You saw that when he fought, Raul Rosas Jr. When he fought Raul Rosas Jr., Rosas Jr. took him down, and he's a masterful grappler, but Turcios got right back up and kept getting up. You know, Turcios got some moves on the ground too. Turcios has a very strong chin. He's a hard puncher, and his cardio is unreal. He has phenomenal cardio. So he's a hard, versatile striker. He has good takedowns. He has a good ground game and good wrestling. He can box too. He has pretty good boxing. The problem with him is his cardio. Around that third round, he usually doesn't have much left to offer. I'm going to take a chance on Ricky Turcios pulling off this upset because Sopaj is a 3-1 favorite. I'm going to take a chance on Turcios because Turcios has been in the UFC for a minute. He's fought UFC caliber talent. He's fought some really good fighters. And he either held his own or won. So I got to go with Turcios on this one. Not go super heavy because it is an upset pick. But I will take Ricky Turcios to pull off the upset over Sopaj. And I'll be taking the fight starts second round prop. And I'll be taking the fight starts third round prop with DraftKings. Next fight. We got the men's middleweight division. Gerald Meerschaert versus Reinier de Ritter. I can never get this guy's name right. Gerald Meerschaert, everybody knows. He's a quiet assassin. This guy is a nightmare on the ground. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, kickboxing black belt. He has a really good ground game, really good cardio, and he's a versatile striker. He'll throw shots at you. He'll throw high kicks, low kicks. He got a lot of stuff going. He has this real quiet demeanor about him in the cage where he's so calm. But he will sneakily get you, especially if you try to take him down and leave your neck out there. He will snatch up a guillotine so quick and have you tapping. So de Ritter, this is his UFC debut. He's from the Netherlands. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He's a judo black belt. He has a phenomenal ground game, great grappling. When he was in one championship, he was the 2-division champ over there. I'm going to go with de Ritter to win this. He's a 3-1 favorite so far. I watched his fights. His ground game is good. So I'm hoping he can use his judo or something to take Meerschaert to the ground. And it's going to be interesting to see both of these high-level black belts going up against each other on the ground. I can't wait to see it. I really can't. Meerschaert is 6'1", and de Ritter is listed as 6'4". So he's probably going to look a lot bigger than Meerschaert in there. And I'm going to take my chance on de Ritter. I really am, because Meerschaert isn't all that impressive. I mean, his ground game is good against guys who aren't really good on the ground, but you get a really strong wrestler and they make him look like an amateur on the ground. So I got to go with de Ritter in this one. And I'll be taking the fight start second round prop. Next fight, we got the women's strawweight division. Luana Pinheiro versus Gillian Robertson. Pinheiro is a judo black belt, Brazilian jiu-jitsu purple belt, hard puncher. She has really good judo throws, but her cardio's poor. Right around halfway through the second round, she starts to really wear down. Gillian Robertson, she's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt with really good takedowns and a phenomenal ground game and good cardio. I'm riding with Gillian Robertson. Right now, she's a 3.5-1 favorite, and I'm going to be taking the prop bet that the fight starts the second round. Can't go no further than that because Robertson may submit her in that second round. So I'm going to take the fight start second round prop and go from there. Next fight, we got the men's middleweight division. Mansur Abdul-Malik versus Dusko Todorovic. Now, Abdul-Malik, this guy has KO power. He can hit. He's a former Division I college wrestler. He trains over at Extreme Couture. He has really good takedowns. He has a really good ground game and good wrestling. He gets you down there. It's going to be really hard for you to get back up without burning off some serious energy. Todorovic, he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He's a Taekwondo black belt, but his wrestling is horrible, and his takedown defense is even worse than his wrestling. So I got to go with Abdul-Malik. He's the more explosive fighter here. He's a 3.5-1 favorite right now, so I got to go with him. And I'll be taking the under 2.5 round prop. And I'll be putting some good money on Mr. Abdul-Malik. He's a good, he's a good guy to bet on. He's 27 years old. And I love betting on strong wrestlers, especially in the UFC. So I'll be taking him, and I'll be taking the under 2.5 round prop in that one. Next fight, we got the men's bantamweight division. Gaston Bolanos versus Cortavious Romious. How do I say that? Yeah, Romious. Yeah, Cortavious Romious. There we go. Okay. Now, Bolanos is good. He has really good cardio, very strong leg kicks and strong body kicks. His ground game's weak, though. He has a strong chin. He can take a punch. Yeah, he can take a pretty solid punch. But he throws the same body kicks over and over and over again. Now, this guy he's fighting, Romious, I've looked at this guy's fights. It's his UFC debut, so I can't go super heavy on him because we don't know how the cardio is going to go when they fight a real top-notch UFC fighter, But Romious is a pressure fighter. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu purple belt. He's a hard puncher. He has really good takedowns, and he has a phenomenal ground game. I'm going to take Romious to get this. He is explosive. He's a little 5'4" powerhouse, just a small, muscular dude that just, the guy, he shoots hard takedowns, double legs. He can get you down all kind of ways. And when he gets you down there, he got some submissions for you on the ground. So right now, he's a 2-1 favorite. So I'm going to take Romious to win this. And I'm going to sprinkle a little something on that under 2.5 round prop just in case he gets the early submission. I'm not so sure he's going to get it because Bolanos is tough. But I'm going to take a chance and see if he can get that under 2.5 round prop because he goes for the juggler. When he gets you on that mat, he's looking for submissions. He ain't playing around. So I got to go with Romious on this one. Next fight. We got the men's welterweight division. Matthew Semelsberger versus Charles Chuck Buffalo Radtke. Semelsberger is a hard puncher. He has a good ground game. He has good boxing. He's a versatile striker. He throws kicks, punches pretty good. And he has good cardio. Charles Radtke, he's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt. He's a pressure fighter. He's a very hard puncher with a strong chin, and he has a nice, strong left jab. I love that. I love a fighter with a good, stiff, strong jab. I'm going with Charles Radtke this time, and I'm going to be taking over 1.5 round prop and over 2.5 round prop because Semelsberger is tough, and I don't think he's going to get in there and just surrender. He'll fight you. Semelsberger will fight you, but Radtke is a pressure fighter, and once he starts putting that pressure, I think he'll bring the pressure. If the fight goes to the ground, Radtke has good submissions. I got to roll with Charles Radtke in this one and take the overs. Next fight, we got Cody Stamann versus Blackshear. Interesting fight. Cody Stamann, he trains over at Extreme Couture. He has a very strong chin, good boxing, great takedown defense, good takedowns, good cardio, incredible ground game. He is good on the ground, really good. I saw his fight with Merab Dashweli, and Merab Dashweli took him down. He used some moves on the ground and get back up. And not only that, he took Merab down. He took Merab down. He has good takedowns. Blackshear, he's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt. He has good takedown defense. He's a very versatile striker, but his cardio only lasts about a round and a half. He has a good ground game, too. Good submissions and everything. He's going to be the taller fighter in there. He's listed at 5'10". Cody Stamann's at 5'6". But when I'm looking at the wrestling and grappling exchanges, I like the shorter fighter because the shorter fighter usually is more successful shooting for the hips and taking the guy down. So I'm going to go with Cody Stamann to pull off this upset because right now Blackshear is about a 3-1 favorite. I'm going to take Cody Stamann. Yeah, I'm going to throw a little something on him. I can't see Blackshear dominating this guy on the ground. Not with his wrestling chops. I don't see Cody Stamann being dominated on the ground by Blackshear. Blackshear's going to have to prove it to me because I just don't see that happening. Not after I watched Cody Stamann go toe-to-toe with Merab Dashweli on the ground and not get dominated. So I got to go with Cody Stamann on this one, and hopefully he'll pull off this upset. I'll take the over 1.5 round prop, and I'll be taking over 2.5 round prop on this one. Next fight, we got the men's welterweight division. Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos. Now, I watched this guy fight. I like him. He's good. But he's going to be fighting Zachary Scroggin. It's Scroggin's UFC debut. I finally tracked down some fights of his. But let's get to Mr. Dos Santos. Dos Santos is a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt. He's a hard, versatile striker with very strong kicks, and he's a hard puncher. He has a strong chin and great cardio. Great cardio. Scroggin, he's a versatile striker. He has good boxing. His cardio's poor, though. And he has a good ground game. I gotta go with Dos Santos. I know that they have Scroggin being at a -130, which means he's like a 1.3 to 1 favorite. I'm not gonna bet on a UFC newcomer going up against Dos Santos. This guy has fought the best of the best. He's been in there. He knows what to do. I gotta go with Dos Santos to pull off this upset. I do. I've watched this guy fight. He has heart. He brings it. The only downside to betting on him is he's 37 years old, which really isn't too old in UFC years. I mean, he knows what to do in there. I'm going to go with Zaleski Dos Santos to pull this one off, to pull off this upset. And I'll be taking the prop bet that the fight starts the second round. Next fight, we got the men's middleweight division. Tresean Gore versus Antonio Tricoli. Now, in this fight, this is interesting. Tresean Gore is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu purple belt. He trains over at American Top Team. He's a pressure fighter. He's a hard puncher. He has good takedown defense, and he has good cardio. He can go. He can go the full 3 rounds, no question. Antonio Tricoli, he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt. His takedowns are weak. His cardio is really bad, and he has very low strike output. I saw his fight. I was just watching his fight with Shara Bullet Magomedov, and he ran out of gas around late in the second round. Tricoli did. He ran out of gas, and in the third round, he had nothing. So I want to go with Tricoli because he's 6'5". He's a big dude with 82-inch reach. But I got a funny feeling that the pressure of Tresean Gore will break him. I got a funny feeling that that's what's going to happen here. So I'm going to put Tresean Gore in a parlay. I'm not going to go heavy on him because Tricoli could pull off this upset. No question. He's going to look huge in there fighting Gore. Trust me. Tricoli is going to look really big. And I'm gonna take a chance on Tresean Gore this time, and I'm gonna take the over 1.5 round prop and the over 2.5 round prop because Tresean Gore, he just keeps coming. He doesn't know how to back up. He just keeps bringing it, and I got a funny feeling he can pull off this win and either stop Tricoli in the third round or win a unanimous decision. Next fight, we got the women's bantamweight division: Melissa Mullins versus Claudia Segula. Melissa Mullins, I bet against her when she fought Nora Kano and won. Kano pulled off the upset. But I'm going to bet on Melissa Mullins this time. She has good takedowns. She has a good ground game. She can box a little. She's a hard puncher. She has decent cardio. Claudia Segula, she has good boxing. She's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu purple belt. And she has a good ground game. But this is her UFC debut. And I'm going to take my chances with Melissa Mullins this time. She's like a 2.5 to 1 favorite. So I'm going to take Melissa Mullins. And I think Melissa Mullins will probably have the better wrestling and better ground game. And I think Mullins, she likes to just go right. As soon as they say fight, she goes for the takedown. And if she gets you down, you're normally there for the rest of the round. So I'll take Melissa Mullins. Won't go too heavy on her, but I will put her in a parlay or two and see if she can get it. And I'll be taking over 1.5 round prop in this one. And that's pretty much that. One last thing I want to tell you guys, when I do my parlays, I try to mix them. I try to take one fight winner, then I take an over-under bet, and then I add either a NFL passing prop, like a quarterback over 175 yards or quarterback over 200-yard prop, and that'll be my one parlay, or I'll do one fight pick, one over-under prop bet pick, and then I'll do maybe an NFL game or college football game. So I always do I always do 2 and 3 pick parlays. Now, if I got some spare loose money I want to take a chance with, I'll do those 6 and 7 leg parlays every now and then. I don't do them a lot, but every now and then, if I see something that I might be able to exploit, I'll do it. But you can bet less on those 7 and 8 leg parlays because they have a less of a chance of hitting, but you get a better payout. So you don't want to put the heavy money. You want to put the heavy money on the stuff that's almost, I never use the word safe, but that's more of a solid bet. A 2 and 3 pick parlay is much easier to hit than a 6 and 7 pick parlay. So please sit down, take your time, pick your parlays right. If you need to, there's sites that you can go on that'll calculate the odds, your money line odds, so you can do that. So before you even get to the cage or to the window to place your bet, you already know what your parlays are going to be. You're not up there guessing. And sit down and pre-plan everything, and you'll see the profits roll in. Good luck this weekend, folks.